just left Gladstone. Yay, back in the water. Oh, look, a boat. Welcome back to All the Stars Sailing Adventures. This week we left Gladstone and headed towards the southern end of the Great Barrier Reef, starting with Great Keppel Island.
On our departure from Gladstone Harbour, we were amazed at the size and scale of shipping and industry in the area.
We spent a quick night at North Facing Island, and then early the next morning we were straight onto a fish. Maybe not quite. As long as it takes me to put a reef in. Oh, good. Halfway there.
Landed the biggest tuna of our lives this morning. That thing weighs like 20 kilos plus. Anyway, she's chilled down in the fridge now. Rach is doing a great job steering the boat. We're running downwind, wing on wing, and we've got about 15 to 20 knots. So yeah, we're pretty well reefed. We're not going too quick, but we don't want to push it either.
Keppel Islands, Great Keppel Islands.
Anchorage around here to the western side. Yeah, a little bit less swell roll happening here, and I'm going to take a dive under the boat and check out how the bottom of the keel looks after an unfortunate incident where we managed to miss a lead in the north facing island channel and bumped into some rocks. So yeah, let's go and have a look underneath the boat.
wonder if it smells like goat.
The Great Keppel Island homestead was built in 1922 and was occupied by Lizzie Leake, who ran sheep on the island until 1945.
Is that a goat?
Yeah.
So yesterday on the way to Keppel, just caught a massive tuna. It was kind of over a metre. He managed to reel it in on that little rod. So now I've got a ridiculous amount of tuna. I've been giving it away to all our boat friends. But I'm going to make sushi for lunch, and we'll get Peter and Janet over for lunch. But just went for a really nice swim while we're waiting for the sushi rice to cool down. And the water here is so beautiful. It's just crystal clear and lovely. And now I'm just sitting out of the wind in the back of the boat in the sun. Where else do you want to be, huh?
What are you up to here, Rach?
Pickling. Pickling some tuna.
Yep.
See how we go.
I've
just got
yellowfin tuna.
Gosh, that was a lot of fish. So we just couldn't quite stomach 7 nights in a row of tuna. So I just looked up a really easy recipe on SBS. It was great. The Gourmet Farmer. And vinegar and spices and onion and delicious things. And then sterilise some jars. Yeah, brown sugar in there. Sterilise some jars in that little fella.
Hot water.
Yeah. And Jess has salted the tuna and drawn all the, a lot of the excess moisture out of that, because I don't like touching raw fish. Yeah, so then we'll layer it up and hopefully it'll be delicious.
Some diced up tuna.
He would like some fruit. They in turn would say, no, thank you, miss.
This is literally the best piece of fish I've ever eaten.
You haven't eaten it yet.
Cut some open. Give us a look.
You had some last night just like this, didn't you?
Oh my god.
So we just had the boat out and we've discovered that we're able to just touch up the anti-foul with another, we didn't have to fiberglass anything, we just ground it back, and then we've put in one prime coat and a top coat of anti-foul, heavy coat. Now we're going straight back in the water, so hopefully that's a little bit cheaper.
Since we had to come back from Keppel into Roslyn Bay to slip the boat, we spent a couple of nights here in the marina. It was supposed to get a bit yucky tonight, which is, I think it's Friday night. So we decided to stay the 2 nights anyway. It was a good opportunity to download all my uni stuff because there's not much reception out at the islands at all. So yeah, I've got a very full computer now. Like 7 textbooks on my computer to read through. But it's been really nice. It's been good to be able to catch up with another couple of women we've gotten to know, which is really nice, and learn that other people are kind of have a bit of anxiety around sailing as well. It's not just me, because I keep looking at these amazing women sailing and thinking, far out, you know, they can do it, why can't I do it, you know, I'm just as capable or whatever. But it's really lovely to get to know people and learn that we share similar anxieties and fears, and yeah, you know, I guess everyone is just doing their best.
So, welcome back to another episode of Rachel's Botanicals.
We sent a sample of this little fella, well, not this particular fella, off to Gus to do some tree identification for us, and he came back and said it was a Moreton Bay ash, and I love them. They're so pretty.
Yeah, these are we first saw them at Pancake Creek.
Yeah.
They got a lovely fine leaf.
And we've just not seen that before when the bark just stops, so
yeah.
Yes.
On our visit to Roslyn Bay, we were able to explore the area and do some cool walks, such as this one, to the lookout above the marina. Okay, rainy day fun times here. The engine water temperature sensor gauge hasn't been very accurate or working reliably. So today's my little task is to work out where the weak link is, whether it's our thermo sensor here, or whether it's thermo switch on this side, or whether it's actually the gauge. So let's go and have a look. There's our new spare gauge, and I've got a few different parts here that I ordered as spares as well. So now we've removed that cover. I've actually unplugged. That's a sealed electrical plug, waterproof sealed plug. Unplug that from the old temp sensor, temp gauge, and I've taken that out of the control panel. So when I've tightened up this housing screw here, it pushes the panel back behind the flange and the glass cover, and now this needle's sitting somewhere in a much more operative state, whereas before it seemed to be just jamming up into this corner. So it may have been a manufacturing fault with this particular temp gauge, and you see that the fitting at the back is very different to the one that was supplied as a spare, so you'd have to manually solder on some lugs to join into those. So we'll give it a go, and maybe this just stays as a spare. Look at that! Love a happy ending.
It's a nice man-sized cup you got there.
Yeah, it is. It's not how big your cup is, it's what you do with it. Snorkel?
Yes.
Look at this day. So we're going to nick around the corner to Secret Beach, little cove. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Tough life?
Pardon?
Tough life?
Hard.
This is our friends Lisa and David's dinghy. You'll notice it's the dinghy of the future. It has a solar powered, battery operated, electric outboard. I love this thing. What you found there? Steep walk. Now we've got the choice of going to Lighthouse and Wreck Bay or Svensson's Beach. Okay.
We've just come to the top of some mountain. And
Mount Canute.
Mount what now?
Canute.
Mount Canute.
Yep.
I think Katut might be here. And we've found this tree that we can't seem to find a name for. It's got quite a waxy leaf. Oh, this is interesting. It's got quite smooth bark on the ends, but the base of the bark is quite rough and irregular. It's got a little nut on it. The leaves seem to come off in clumps, but the leaf actually reminded me a bit of a fig, which is weird for what the rest of the tree looks like. But it's kind of up here growing on really rocky soil and clay soil with the casuarinas, ironbarks. I'm not sure what that is, but it's got a thinner leaf than this one. I guess they're all kind of stunted. The shape of them are all pretty stunted because of the really harsh environment that they're growing in. If anyone wants to help us out in identifying this little fella, that'd be swell. You can just kind of comment on the video if you know. And if you know anything that we're rabbiting on about that we actually have no idea about, and you do, please let us know. Information.
There's easily 1,000 butterflies just in here. It's a swarm.